I've started a drawing course from a place called Vitruvian Studio. It's an online course where the concepts are shown through videos, and then the online course offers downloadable worksheets that you work from so that you can practice the different techniques and concepts that are shown. Vitruvian Studio offers several different courses. I'll put a link to their website in the description. The course that I'm taking right now is called Drawing Basics, and it is truly basic, and I love it for that. You start with straight lines, how to draw a straight line, how to use a pencil, how to hold the pencil when you're trying to uh, form different types of lines at different types of angles. And your first exercises, you just draw these lines over and over again, hundreds of times. I don't know, maybe like 1,000 times. I didn't count, obviously, but you draw a lot of these just basic lines, not trying to create any sort of an art piece, but just trying to get that technique down. And I find this so helpful as a complete beginner that you can just go through and try the techniques in complete abstraction. It's sort of like if you're trying to learn a sport and you're just getting the basic skills down before you go out and actually try to play the game against an opponent. Now, in these videos, I want to cover my experience with going through this drawing basics course, but I don't want to try and recreate the course. Really, if you want to know what these courses are all about, I highly recommend that you pay for the course and go through it yourself from their website. It's set up really well and the resources are great. There's also question and answer sections where the instructors will answer questions that you have. All the different materials, tips, and explanations, they're there on that website, and you won't get that from my videos. In these, I just want to explain what I think of it and how I experience it going through it. I hope that's helpful for people. Maybe people aren't that interested in watching a video where I draw hundreds of lines on end without actually creating any pictures. But if you're thinking about trying out the course and you're not sure if you want to spend all that money, maybe these videos will be helpful for you to kind of see what it's all about. So at the very beginning, you're just trying to match different angled lines that you draw on a paper or that you print out from a worksheet that they have you download if you want. And then after that, they move to these clock faces because they're trying to get you to better understand how to measure an angle with your eyes rather than using a protractor or some other type of measuring tool to get it exactly precise. The idea is that you should start to get a sense for the tilt or angle of a line and be able to reproduce that repeatedly. This all builds on itself so that later the ability to reproduce an angle and then multiple angles will also help you to measure correctly the proportions of something you're drawing. But this first lesson is just all about repeating these angles, trying to sense what they are correctly, and then to be able to make that line over and over reliably. I did it so much I got a bunch of graphite on my hand, which I thought was great. At the very end of the lesson, you move on to curved lines, which felt really tough. But you know, the practice with drawing straight lines and drawing them at various angles, that skill was applied to this idea of drawing curved lines. You break the curved line up into a bunch of small angled straight lines, and then you round out the corners to create a curved line, and all of a sudden you're able to reliably reproduce curved lines. And so that felt fun. That was a very small progression from going from a straight line to a curved line, but it felt like kind of unlocking a secret that, oh, these curved lines that look like they'd be really difficult to draw with a single stroke, well, it's true. They're almost impossible to draw with a single stroke. But if you break it down into small enough segments, they become these straight lines, and you've shown yourself that you really can draw straight lines. And so if you break it down small enough, all of a sudden this thing that seems really difficult becomes achievable. Not easy, but no longer impossible. And so obviously I'm a long ways away from creating any sort of a drawing of a thing in the real world, but drawing curved lines by the end of this exercise felt pretty good. You can see as I'm working through the reproduction of these lines, I'm not getting them exactly right, but I'm getting pretty close, and so that's encouraging. It felt like progress to me. I've already been through one drawing course, but this one starts out even more basic, and I really appreciate that. And so I'm excited to continue on and to make further progress, and I'll keep making these videos to show you how that goes. If you have any questions about it, please put them in the comments, and I appreciate you taking a look. Take care.